Hello, my name is Matt William. I'm a high school student with no father. I live a normal life in America, or at least I did, until everything changed on that rainy day. As I was walking home from school, I saw the shadow of a creature dart across the street in the blink of an eye. It quickly disappeared into the dark forest nearby. Curiosity got the best of me, and without thinking, I followed it. The creature kept moving deeper into the forest until it entered an old, abandoned cave. I followed it inside, only to find myself in a desolate, pitch-black place. I took a deep breath, gathered my courage, and ventured further in. With every step, fear and excitement battled inside me. I kept asking myself, what kind of adventure is fate leading me into this time? Suddenly, I stepped on a hidden pressure plate. The cave behind me began collapsing. Without thinking, I bolted forward, running as fast as I could. In the distance, I saw a faint glimmer of light. Finally, an exit. But just as I was about to reach it, a large rock fell and struck my head, knocking me unconscious. When I woke up, I was startled to find myself in a large, white room with no windows or doors. But that wasn't the strangest part. I wasn't alone. Standing around me were the last people I ever expected to see. Roxy, my friend from middle school, Gomez, my quiet friend from elementary school, and Alia and Steven, my current high school friends. It took me a while to process what was happening, but eventually I broke the silence. Hey guys, what brought you here? Roxy looked at me seriously and replied, Hey Matt, the real question is what brought you here? I was coming back from the grocery store when it started raining. I went into an abandoned house to wait it out, but someone hit me from behind, and I blacked out. Gomez added, I was kidnapped by a van while on my way to the book fair. Then Steven spoke up. Alia and I were walking home from school when a group of masked men appeared in. Night had fallen, and we began gathering supplies for the camp. Steven and Alia took charge of collecting fruits. Gomez prepared the tents, and Roxy fetched water. As for me, I was assigned to gather firewood. Each of us set off on our respective tasks. I quickly gathered plenty of wood, thanks to the dense trees scattered across the island. On my way back, I stumbled upon an old abandoned house. Out of pure curiosity, I decided to explore it. The place was in ruins, furniture decayed, cobwebs covering every inch of the room. I started opening the drawers one by one, until I found a small wooden box locked with a metal clasp. I stared at it for a moment, then instinctively reached for the key necklace my father had given me before his disappearance. I inserted the key and turned it eagerly. To my shock, the box opened. Inside, I found 2 sheets of paper. I picked up the first and read the heading, To Jack William. My heart sank. What was this? A conspiracy? This was my father. I continued reading, my hands trembling. To Jack William. We've captured all your friends. After intense interrogation and torture, they revealed your location. There's no escape for you now. All thanks to Craig. Without his betrayal, we never would have found you. But he'll join you soon as another sacrifice. As I told you before, only one will remain in the end. We are the people of DarkLand. And as my final gift to you, your children have been chosen to participate in the next decade's competition. Goodbye, Jack. The letter fell from my hands as I stood frozen, overwhelmed with questions. What brought my father here? Hadn't he died in a car crash 10 years ago? Could he have been murdered instead? This was madness, a nightmare. It took a while to gather myself, but slowly it began to make sense. My father must have taken part in this competition and was likely betrayed and killed. I wasn't chosen because I was special, but because I was Jack's son. I took a deep breath, calmed myself, placed the first letter on the table, and reached for the second. After reading it, I gathered the firewood and made my way back to camp. On the way, I made a firm decision to keep this secret to myself. But when I returned, I was struck by another shock. I wasn't the only one frozen in disbelief. Everyone else stood still, staring in horror. The plane that brought us here was completely destroyed, torn to pieces. All our efforts had been for nothing. The next day, everyone's behavior began to change. Roxy became unusually close to me, saying she was afraid, something she'd never shown before I moved to California. Gomez grew distant, avoiding conversation altogether. Steven and Alia kept to themselves, no longer joining us for meetings, always together and always aloof. I couldn't understand how things had shifted so drastically. It couldn't all be coincidence. Could there really be a traitor among us? Hadn't my father also been betrayed? My doubts solidified when Roxy approached me and said she suspected someone among us was plotting something sinister. After several days of deep thought, I came up with a plan. I told Roxy I had a way to uncover the traitor. I had dismantled the plane's engine and hidden the parts in separate locations. Then, I would tell each person a different hiding spot. If the parts disappeared from one of those locations, I'd know who the traitor was. I told Gomez I had hidden the parts under my tent. I told Steven they were hidden beneath the wrecked plane. And I told Alia they were under the tree by the riverbank. First, I approached Gomez, who, as always, was sitting by the tree. As I started to speak, he got up and stormed off toward his tent, clearly irritated. I stopped him and whispered the supposed hiding spot in his ear. He looked surprised, but then gave a small smile and walked away. Then I informed Steven and Alia. Steven seemed confused, but leaned in and said something softly. I understood. I returned to my tent and waited. For the next morning, at dawn, Roxy and I went to inspect the hiding places. Under the plane wreckage, the parts were still there. Steven was innocent. Under the riverside tree, same result. Alia was clean. But when we checked under the tent, the parts were gone. It was clear now. Gomez was the traitor. That night, everyone went to bed, except me. I couldn't sleep after what I had discovered. I tried to calm myself, waiting to see what the next day would bring. But before the sun even rose, we were awakened by Roxy's scream. Without thinking, I grabbed my bag and rushed with Gomez, Alia, and Steven toward the sound. When we arrived, we found Roxy lying on the ground. As soon as she saw us, she gave a wicked smile and burst into hysterical laughter. Then she spoke. The prey has been trapped. Suddenly, we were surrounded by soldiers, dozens of them, all resembling the creature I had seen before. Then their leader stepped forward. "Well done, Roxy," he said. "Everything went exactly as you planned. Destroying their machine was a clever move." She interrupted coldly. "Spare me your praise, Klaus. Just tell me where the ship is. I want to leave this place." Everyone was frozen in disbelief. "You betrayed us," Gomez shouted. "You told Steven and me that Gomez was the traitor," Alia said, stunned. I couldn't help but smile and laugh. "So it's true. What I feared has come pass. From the beginning, I suspected you were the spy." "That's nonsense, Matt," Roxy snapped. "There's no way you could have known. I didn't leave a single clue behind." "You're right," I said calmly. "You didn't leave one clue. You left several. First, you claimed you were kidnapped while hiding from the rain. But didn't you just move to sunny California? Rain is rare, especially during this season. Then the plane crashed, and everyone changed. Gomez avoided me, but I remembered he used to have a crush on you. It made sense for him to distance himself once he noticed you getting close to me. Steven and Alia were suspicious too, until Steven told me they were keeping their distance to protect Alia from you and Gomez. Turns out, Alia is Steven's half-sister. That left only you. And remember the engine parts? I tested all of you, including you. I gave each of you a different location. The only spot where parts went missing was the one I gave to you. You tried to frame Gomez. And yes, I know now, your people sacrificed our parents. In order to leave this island, they need 10 sacrifices. They already have 5. We're the remaining 4. Roxy turned to Klaus in horror. "He's lying, right?" Klaus simply smiled. "My dear Roxy, what use is raising a pet if I gain nothing from it? As I said before, only one shall remain. We are the people of DarkLand." Then, without warning, Klaus drew a sword and stabbed Roxy in the stomach. "That makes 6, he said coldly. 4 to go. Who's next?" Quickly, I opened my bag and pulled out a flute. Klaus and his soldiers recoiled, trembling. "The flute of light." Klaus gasped. "Where did you get that?" I'm not obligated to answer, I said. But I will. I found the house where my father hid from you. Inside, I discovered 2 letters, one from you and one from him. He told me where to find the only thing that could stop you. Klaus screamed, "Get the flute! Take it from him!" The soldiers lunged, but I began to play the flute. Immediately, they collapsed, writhing in pain. I grabbed Gomez, Alia, and Stephen, still stunned, and we ran as fast as we could. We reached the island's coast, where a boat was waiting. My father had mentioned it in his letter. We boarded, cut the rope, and began rowing away. Gomez, crying, wanted to go back for Roxy. "She's gone," I said. "She made her choice. This is what she deserved for betraying us." He collapsed, sobbing. I looked back one last time. On the shore, Klaus stood screaming, "Come back! Come back, you fools!" Then a thick fog rolled in. In the blink of an eye, I found myself back at the entrance to the cave where all this began. I ran home. My mother was waiting. "Where have you been, son? You've been gone so long," she said. I smiled lightly and replied, "Nothing important, Mom. Just a few bumps in the road." The end. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new adventures. Goodbye.